But I will tell you, because I want to introduce her in a way that I know Lynn, but I also want you guys to realize that you are going to learn from the #1 global income earner in our entire company. I mean, you guys, neither Jess or I are financially linked to her. And as busy as she can be, and with all the success that she's had, to just come from a heart and say, you know what, I'd love to do it. I want to be there for you. So she left another company to join Isagenix. She walked away from a multiple 6-figure income earner because the company was paying her well, but not her team. And she said, this is not fun. It's lonely up top. And I want to be with a company that my team can make as much money with me. I want to be with a company that my team could out earn me. And she went so fast. She made $1 million in, I think, 10 months. You can tell that story, Lynn. But we're going to talk a little bit tonight on why speed is sexy. But she and her husband, Michael, have the biggest hearts. I mean, at any event, you will see them in the hallway talking to people that they don't know, talking to people in other teams, because I love Isagenix so much. They are a wealth of knowledge. They are a powerhouse couple, but they're fun and they're down to earth. And I will just tell you guys, since the day I started, and Jessica will tell you this too, we've continued to learn from Lynn and Michael. I mean, before we even knew who they were in person, Jenny sent us videos and she's like, watch this, watch this. And if you've never seen Lynn Hagedorn in the red sweater, you know, in the projector at NYKO teaching the comp plan, I mean, Jess and I must have watched that 10 times together.
That's like vintage now.
In trying to just figure out, it is, I know. we were like, we don't get it. We don't get it. And the night we got it, I mean, this is why we don't sleep anymore, because we understand this compensation plan. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of the training that you do for the company. You guys, I mean, the college and training and the college and university, Lynn has absolutely been behind, and she's been a field advisory board member. If you're looking at Hair Revival, if you're not in there, you know, so much content, and she has interviewed Just Plant and other leaders and just come together and said, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Let's just all get together. And that's so, so, so special. So thank you for being here with us tonight.
Oh, it's an honor. I love you guys so much. I'm like kind of nervous because I look up to you all so much.
Oh, well, don't be. I mean, this is such a treat. And if anyone also can tell that Lynn's hair is gorgeous, not that it always hasn't been, but I recently saw some pictures of yours and it's amazing, you guys. And I'll just tell you,
our products are incredible.
They are incredible. My favorite stories ever. I hosted one of my first Super Saturdays. I didn't even know what they were. But Lynn and I were in the same region. She's in Nebraska, you know, and they wanted me to bring out a millionaire because I was brand new. And they were like, we'll get Lynn to come out there. And I was like, you want me to what? Like how? And she came, and not only did she come and give this best training, it was like a freaking blizzard. I mean, I just started Isagenix and there's like 3 feet of snow, and Laura had actually flown out from New Jersey to be there. And that's how I think of Lynn, and she's just like, yes, whatever I can do to help the field. Yes. So you're amazing. So I would love to first ask you tonight, just a little bit about your story, what you did before network marketing, the transition from your previous company to Isagenix. Let people just kind of know a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for that introduction. That was so kind. And I love this so much. And, you know, you mentioned Revival University, and of course we had college and university. And it really is something that for those of you that Isagenix is your first and only place you've ever been, this is unique. The culture, the family type atmosphere of our company is really unheard of in this profession. It really is. It can be very cutthroat. People can kind of circle the wagons and be in competition with one another. And to actually have a Facebook page where we come together as a united Isagenix is just unheard of. And who wants to be a part of that? I mean, the world is hard. The world is heavy. There's a lot of darkness in the world, and Isagenix is so bright. I love the light here. I love the energy here. I love the collaboration here. And it's not just lip service, it's real. And I just love that. And I love that we're coming together here as, you know, we're not connected financially at all, because we want Isagenix to win. We want all of you to win. And because every single time someone wins, and congratulations to all of you that had your names read tonight, because you're an inspiration. We get up on our chairs and we are clapping so loud because that gives everyone else hope that they can too. And that's what this is all about. But to answer your question, so where did I come from? I tell you what, I would not have been that person that was top of your list to recruit. I'll tell you that. And I'll share a little bit about why. I definitely grew up quiet and shy. My mom was not quiet and shy. She loved to talk, and she would always say, Lynn, you've got to open your mouth. Like, you've got to look people in the eye. And she was always peeling me off of her leg. And I like to say that and share that, because I think so many times people think they come on board and they think that they have to be the life of the party. The person that's just so outgoing. And I had to really work on that. I have a really strong work ethic. If you have a burning desire to change your current circumstances in life, that's what you need. You don't have to be the one that has to be necessarily the life of the party. So that was me. And then I went to school and got my bachelor's degree in occupational therapy, got my master's degree in health education, and then started working at a hospital and worked in outpatient hand rehabilitation. And you guys, I loved it. I loved it. I worked so hard with those orthopedic surgeons and those hand surgeons, and I wanted them to put my name on the scripts. And I mean, I really loved it. So here's this quiet, shy girl who loves her job. Do you think I'd be at the top of your list to recruit? But I didn't know what I didn't know. And I kind of jumped into the idea of the network marketing because I thought it would be great for a friend of mine. And I started just feeling the pain, though, of time. I had child number one, and it was okay. I actually went back to work before my maternity leave was up. I mean, who does that? I had child number two, and then I had child number three, and thought, how in the world am I going to do all this? And I remember telling a friend of mine, you should do this. You should do this company. You should do these parties. You should do this. And then telling her upline about some of my lament and that maybe I'd go into sales and something like that. I mean, I'm telling someone in network marketing, maybe I should go into sales. Like, that is how much I was not looking at it for me. And she just looked me in the eye and she's like, Lynn, what you're describing is this. You should do what I do. And I love telling that part of my story because I think sometimes we think that the people that we're talking to understand what we do. So I want to have a teaching point in that, to say, always invite, always invite, always invite someone in. Don't just assume that they know what you do. Don't just assume that they know what you sell. Don't just assume that they know who you're looking for, because she would have thought I knew that. I went to several of her presentations. I heard her spiel. I heard all of it, but I'd never been personally invited. And it was only when she personally invited me that it was like someone hit me over the head and I kind of came out of my coma. So that was how it started. So I went from no way, no way, no way am I going to do this, to literally like driving down the hill and rolling at 10 o'clock at night and working to figure it all out. I was with that company for 8 years. I had risen up from, never doing this before, kind of being that quiet, shy girl, to a top 20 income earner there. I remember really just so desperately wanting to learn how it worked that I would work all day. Again, I had 3 really young children, and I drove all the way to Kansas City for an hour-and-a-half training and drove home. So again, a teaching point. How bad do you want it? Do you want it that bad? Do you want it that bad that you have your 3 young kids and you have to try and find a place for them? You have to find childcare for them and drive 3 hours for an hour-and-a-half meeting because you're so badly want to know how this works. So again, that was a big piece too. I really, really wanted to try and figure it out. I wasn't waiting for someone to spoon feed me. There was no one locally. But what caused me over the years, even though I had earned a sizable income, was that I was starting to get really concerned that my team wasn't going to be able to have the same success. There were a lot of issues there. There are a lot of issues with how the company was run, with the products, frankly. I mean, a lot of things. I mean, for some of you that may end up finding out where I was, I mean, nothing against those people that are there now. I mean, it was the place for them. It wasn't for me for the long haul. And I really went on a 2-year quest to find the company that I could call home. There were a few that I was really, somewhat interested in, but never really pulled the trigger until I saw Isagenix. And when I saw everything, because some people say, oh, well, it's just the comp pan, or it's just the products, or it's just the company owners. It's not. I can tell you, after being a part of the profession of network marketing since 2002, 2003 is about when I started, I can tell you that you need all of it. And now, a decade in, so I joined Isagenix in 2011, and I am so grateful that a decade later, there is nowhere else I would rather be. I mean, that is why I pour myself into everyone, all of you guys, the company, Isagenix. I believe in our owners. I believe in the team that's running Isagenix. You guys, our innovation, the products, like this year is huge and it's going to just keep coming. May, June, new products, celebration, new products. But it's not just, let's just throw out a product. We're talking strategy, strategic, onboarding systems. I mean, incredible. It's just going to keep getting better and better and better through 2022. And I know this is a really long answer to your one question, but there's just no other place I'd rather be. And when I saw the tracks to run in, I didn't kind of sort of try, like I jumped in. The name of my business is Cannonball because I believe in cannonballing in. Because if you have that doubt, and I'm not saying there isn't some personal doubt, I mean, we all have a little bit of that, but you don't want to convey that because that energy of certainty is a magnet, you guys. Put out certainty, and that will draw people to your life and in your business and will catapult your business. And that's really why I believe we moved so quickly, because I was just so certain. And I'm like, let's run. And like you said, speed is sexy. So that's where I ended up now. And now it's 10 years later, here we are.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's amazing. And so you did actually kind of touch on one of the things I was going to ask you about why Isagenix throughout that, so I'd love for you all to kind of type in the chat some of the things that she said about the products, the compensation, the innovation, the culture, and really why 10 years later. This is Lynn and Michael's home, and I know all of ours as well. One of the things that you brought up, but I'd love for you to elaborate on a little bit with the cannonball term, which I've never heard you use. See, we always learn new things too, but that speed is sexy. When Jenny mentored Jess and I mean, it was just this expectation to get to executive as fast as possible. And she's like, you just have to go. And maybe if you can talk a little bit about people that you've seen like kind of dabble in this and what that looks like, and, ignorance on fire as opposed to, or whatever that saying is, people that just kind of go for it, and why you would encourage the speed, even if they don't know everything.
100%. Again, it's not what works, it's what duplicates. We are in the profession of network marketing. And after all these years and seeing the successes and seeing the struggles and people who've struggled and then have found success, many times if they could go back and do something different, they would say, you know what, I would have jumped in sooner. You don't have to know everything, but jump in, because there's that certainty and being able to show people evidence of that success, because we go first. And so jumping in and saying, okay, jump in and learn along the way. And I know there's that hesitancy of like, oh, well, especially if you've gone to school and then you've gotten the grades, you've gotten the degree and then the job, we can be kind of molded into thinking that that's the way that it has to be. But that's not the way it is here. You get to earn while you learn. And I can just tell you over and over and over again that wave, that energy draws other people into that energy. And slow can become incredibly painful, especially if there's people around you in your life or maybe under your own roof, say it quietly, maybe that aren't so believing in your success yet. They will be recovering non-believers, trust me, when the money starts coming in. So just pull the Band-Aid off faster and start making money faster, and they will be fully recovered non-believers.
That's the best line I think I've ever heard, a recovering non-believer. Like, Jess always says things about like skeptics make the best success. Don't say that 3 times fast. You'll say a word you don't want to say. Anyways, I really love that term, a recovered non-believer. And Jenny used to tell us that too. She's like, the men show up when the money show up, and so many people that she saw that specifically with significant others, but even outside of with your spouses or the people you live with, I will say even just from my friends or people in my profession, some people that doubted me the most, and exactly what Lynn said, once there was success, they not only believed in it, but said exactly that. I wish I had joined you sooner. I mean, Jessica put a 3 in the chat for all the people in your team that have told you or someone on your team they wish they had joined you sooner, right? I mean, absolutely amazing. So one of the things that both Jess and I have a culture of is going executive. Even though you can max out this compensation plan as a consultant, we both highly believe in that. And I would love for you to maybe touch on not only why you think going executive is important, but maybe some of your tips to get there. What would you tell someone who says, okay, I want to do this? How do I go executive?
Yeah, I've just become really passionate about this in a new way lately. So it's definitely fresh on my mind, just trying to really help our team visualize what they're trying to do. So think of the comp plan in 3 pieces, like 1, 2, 3 or ABC. So you have you share, they share, which is of course, you plus 2, them plus 2 to get the products paid for. So that feeds the ACMDE. So that's what I call the race to executive, ACMDE, associate, consultant, manager, director, executive, right? So it feeds into that. You share, they share becomes manager, director is 6 personally enrolled consultants, and then executive is 10. 10. 10. Do you know 10 people who know 2 people who eat, who want to look better, feel better, make some extra money? It's just 10 people who know 2 people. What a lot of people don't understand is that it's the ACMDE, that trek to ACMDE. Like literally, you want to be thinking about it all the time. I mean, Lauren and Jessica, they're continuing on the run to executive. They haven't stopped. They get to executive and they go back and they run to executive again. You run to executive again. And it's so fun because Isagenix never stops paying you to do that. It feeds the network, which is the 3 parts. So you have you share, they share, ACMDE, which feeds the tree, the cycles. What do people love about network marketing, you guys? The repeat income. Every single week on Monday, we get paid repeat income from people loving and using our products in our network, in our tree. But it becomes this elusive tree, like cycles. How do I do it? I've cycled once, and then I cycle 0, and then I cycle once, and then I'm like, oh, and I'm getting those PIBs, and I double PIBs with these cycles. And I hear about these people that cycle 100 times, but what in the world? I am telling you, you've got to be focused on ACMDE. It feeds the tree. And I asked Isagenix once, I said, how many people flow into the organization on every run to executive? And it's about 60 to 100 customers. So it's not just you, it's who else on your team. So people will say, well, how in the world did you earn $1 million in your first 14 months? Like, how did you do that? It wasn't just setting people up with the products, you guys. I was every day casting a vision of what's possible, every day drawing it out, every day showing them ACMDE. 100 BV can set you free. Look at how it flows into the tree. This can set your family free. You can build a wall of financial security around your family that nothing can get through. I mean, how would you like to build a wall of financial security around your family, especially right now? You guys, is that you? Do you have that certainty in your voice? Or are you just selling collagen? Are you just selling hair revival? Are you just setting someone up to help them lose 10 pounds? Now, please know, I am not discounting our products. Our products are life-changing. The reason I'm saying this to you is you're being stingy with the whole thing. And I am so passionate about that right now because that additional income is life-changing for people. It always has been, but right now more than ever, people need that. It is the best thing in our catalog. It is the best thing in our Isagenix store. But are we giving it as much airtime as everything else? So being able to draw out, you share, they share, immediately going into ACMDE. Here's how you do it. Here's all the thousands of dollars as you're going through ACMDE, which then feeds the back office tree and the cycles and the residual income and that repeat income. ACMDE is the bridge over to the long-term repeat income that you get paid over and over and over again. So you want to ask yourself, how many people, and this is just a question right now, rhetorical, but for you to answer to yourself, how many people right now do you have in your tree on the trek to executive? How many? And hopefully each of you will at least say one yourself, right? So you have one. If you don't have a second one, if you don't have someone besides you, that's totally fine. But what do you think you need to work on? If you only have so many hours in the day, how many purposeful business conversations are on your calendar this week? How many right now? Like if I was going to open up your calendar, how many people are you meeting to talk about the business, to draw out the business, to see if it's a fit for them? How many are you meeting at a coffee shop? How many are you meeting on Zoom? That is absolutely what catapulted my business because I was looking for those business partners. And along the way, I found my product users. Because some would say, you know what, I'm not really looking for that, but oh my gosh, that product you were talking about, I need that. I need to feel better. I'm groggy in the middle of the afternoon. Or now, oh my gosh, I need some of that collagen stuff. I'm not sure about the business right now. And I'd say, okay, well, you definitely, after me drawing that out, I'm sure you want to get in the tree. You see what I'm saying? So it's really that certainty of knowing what you have. because that's changed my life and the life of so many people on the team. And for those of you that are new here on this call, is every single call that you get on, because of course, every single one of you is holding a multi-million-dollar business in the palm of your hand. So just showing up, you're gaining something, you're gaining a nugget, you're gaining sound bites. And I remember having Jessica on a call that we did and had her cast a vision years ago. And Jessica, I don't know if you know, but we still use that call on our team because it's sound bites. We borrow Jessica's sound bites. I mean, you don't have to figure it all out on your own. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I love that.
keep
Jessica
talking.
goes. There's some really, really, really good nuggets that we've all taken from everybody. And similarly, where you just broke this down, I did a comp plan call for 3 brand new girls last week that are in Texas. And because I'm coachable and I learned from Lynn, so similarly, it was a little bit different than she set that up. But I'm like, here is how you get your products paid for. Here's the upfront bonuses. Here's the long-term income, and teach that because that's how I watched her do it. And so many people, I truly, truly believe, are not showing ACMDE, and people are only going to be so motivated by $200, $300, right? But if you show them $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, everything that's available in those pools and rank advancement bonuses, they suddenly see a much greater opportunity. So I love you chatted about that. One of the things I want to ask you right now, just based on what you've said and how many business conversations are you having? How many appointments are you having? I think there's a lot of people in here that have had a great product experience, and with the ability to send a cart link or call it an affiliate link, they've brought on a lot of customers as well. Do you have any verbiage or language, especially for these new people, on how they can set up these business appointments, or what does that look like to set up the meeting to do the business presentation?
Yeah. It could be something like this. Let's say, I'll just use a friend Pam, for instance, and she's in corporate America, uses collagen. She's a faithful collagen customer, really, really busy business executive. And so, I may reach out to Pam and say, hey, Pam, I don't know where I've caught you today. I know it's been a while. I know you're probably still loving that collagen. I didn't know if you were aware of this or not, but I'm really looking to, really grow and expand my isogenics business. Now, of course, you would be amazing. And here's why. To know you is to love you. Everybody loves you. You are so good at what you do. I know you travel a lot. You have so much business experience, and someone like you would just be amazing at what I do. Now, I know it may or may not be a fit for you, Pam. Totally understand. But if I could just have 15 minutes, 20 minutes of your time to share with you kind of who and what I'm looking for, if it isn't a fit for you, you may know just the person. And Pam, that would mean the world to me. Conversations like that. People like to do favors, and you've got to let people off the hook, because if you say you would be amazing and here's why, this is what I'm looking for. I'm really looking to grow and expand my business. And sometimes, depending on who you know in different areas, you could say, like, let's say one of your really kind of faithful product users is in Montana, but you're like, wow, like they're really good at what they do. They're really great in business. You say, I'm really looking to grow and expand my business in Montana. Well, maybe not, but it's kind of a good place to start. Really looking to grow and expand my business in Montana. I know you're super, super busy, but I do know busy people get things done. And I don't know where I've caught you. May or may not be a fit for you, but just taking really a few minutes just to listen to what I'm doing and who I'm looking for, you may know just the person. And Pam, that would mean the world to me. So I've had people do that, and they're like, okay, it's really not for me, Lynn, but of course I'm all about networking. Real estate people are really good for that. And oh my goodness, they do not have a lot of inventory right now. So, you could say to a real estate person, I know you know all about networking. I know you're super busy. You're really good at what you're doing. You may not be looking for something else, but someone like you is just who I'm looking for. For that reason, I would love a few minutes just to share kind of what I'm doing, because in all of your networking, you may meet someone and refer them to me. And that would just mean the world to me, because you guys, I cannot tell you how many times it's happened for me, and also people getting me on a 3-way call. Like if they're new and they don't know what to say once somebody says yes, that will say, okay, now Susie told you that this isn't for me, right? I'm like, oh yeah, totally, Linda. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to get on, because sometimes people just don't really know what we do. And so then we just talk for about 10 or 15 minutes. And at the end, I love it when this happens. It doesn't always happen, But I love it when Linda says, I say, well, Linda, I know you said it wasn't for you, but is there anyone that kind of came to mind as I was talking? And she's like, well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe me. And I'm like, yeah, love it. You guys, you're going to miss every time if you don't get up to bat. Like you've got to just ask. You've got to ask. And right now, people don't know what they're saying no to. So we just have to ask, and we just have to ask for the appointment. And the more people you sit down to have these conversations with, either on the phone or on Zoom, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be a PowerPoint presentation. If you want to know kind of how to walk through something, we have a great opportunity presentation on the website with a script. Just play around with it. Ask some friends if you can practice. I see all of you on here, maybe do some practice sessions with each other and just say, what do you think? Because if you're like super, super fun, and then you sit down to have that conversation and you get all serious like and PowerPoint like, they're not going to be so interested. So you just have to be fun and lighthearted about it.
I love that. And you guys, there are some PowerPoint, but when you do that, especially if you're honoring someone's time, Lynn, tell me if I'm wrong when I'm saying this, but I mean, I honestly think the two things that would be most powerful and what we've learned from Lynn is your story and the money.
Yes.
Like it makes it personable, like your story is unique to everybody else, and just show them the money, like show the money, the whole money. When you really draw it out, people can't sleep.
Yeah, because we think they're going to be interested in all the other stuff and they're not. They just glaze over. You have to remember what's in it for me sort of thing, right? People are going to always ask what's in it for them. And what are the pain points? Think about people's pain points. And you can start off by that too and say, if I had a magic wand and could change anything in your life, before you get into the presentation, just ask them that and see what they say, because it can sometimes help to direct your conversation on what you might lead with. And sometimes even, I've just learned from some of the greats in network marketing, just even asking what you'd like to know about first. What would you like to know about first? And it shocks me every time. It's never what I think. So if you ask them, what do you want to know about first? Or if I had a magic wand, what would you change in your life? Many times you're going to hear something different than you would have expected. And you can kind of garner your presentation based on that.
I love that. You guys, those are really good things. I mean, I'm typing in the chat, and Jess is typing in the chat. We're supposed to sit down and ask them, if I had a magic wand and I could change anything in your life, what would it be? And knowing that it's going to be different than whatever you're thinking, or I'm here to serve you. What is it that you would like to know about first? And I'm just going to add in there, because I know mine and Jess's stories, and what Janny thought when she reached out to both of us, but just never to judge anyone. I mean, on the outside, what Jess looked like she had it completely together, was super successful and already doing very well financially, but she didn't have time, Janny didn't know, but she asked that, she's like, what do you need most? And how much time do you need, or how much money do you need to make this worth your time? And, very few people would get the answer that Jess did. And Janny didn't bark at it. She said, okay, let's go, and on social media, I looked like I had everything together and I had nothing together, and Janny said, what do you need? And I said, a bed. I mean, she was not expecting that at all. And the same reaction, she said, let's go. In that heart of service, I mean, you will just continue to change people's lives. So I have two more questions for you, Lynn, if you've got just a couple more minutes.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Okay. What is your 3 best tips for someone brand new? Someone says, okay, I want to do this. What do I do? Or to help them through their mindset, any of it. What are your 3 best tips for someone new?
Yeah, I mean, I know some of this is going to be pretty basic, but really being teachable and coachable. Again, I talk about how bad do you want it? So, if I'm working with you, Lauren, and I really want this, and you've had success and you have that amazing success, then I'm going to want to listen, because I think some people like, oh, I want this so bad, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And then you tell them, you're like, yeah, not that. So, really being teachable and coachable. And you guys, consistency will always win. Consistency will always win. People will go and stop. Go and stop. Go and stop. And it's just painful. And I see some of you guys shaking your head because probably some of you have done it. And we all have. Find a pace that you can do consistently over time. Now, I do believe there's times, especially after our events like New Year kickoff celebration and things, that I do believe in a really hard 90-day run. If you're able to do that in your life, to step it up, whatever you're doing, just to step it up a little bit, kind of put the pedal down and go a little bit faster, I think is really good for momentum. But with that being said, still find that pace that you can do something in your business, touch your business every day. touch your business every day, and not just scrolling and things like that. I mean, we're talking like reach outs, intentional reaching out to people, following up with people, sending cards, things like that. And then the third thing is, and it probably should be first, but is your mindset. And boy, do you have to protect it now more than ever. You guys protect it. Don't let negativity in to the best of your ability. Who are you hanging around with? Because this is an energy business. You're in business for yourself. You know, I mean, every single day you're waking up and you're looking in the mirror at the boss. But you know, you may be the boss taking yourself out of the game. So what can you do to lift yourself up, and your spirits up, and your attitude up, and your energy up, and really seek that out? And I know sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, you know, the want person isn't in my own house. And I get that. I mean, sometimes you can't really get around that. But again, just really start working really hard, and you're going to change their mindset around everything. But, you know, what are you really doing to seek out better peers, to seek out better association, to maybe get on Zooms and do workout sessions with people that just raise you higher? I'll tell you what, the best friends in this business are the ones that don't listen to your crap and your excuses. I mean, if Lauren is really a friend of mine, if I'm talking to her and I'm like, you know, I don't know, gosh, you know, no one's really calling me back, and I don't know if this is going to work, she'll get into my face lovingly about it and say, Lynn, no, what are you talking about? You don't have everything that you've wished for yet. I remember what you told me. You told me where you wanted your life to be. You guys, I mean, you really think about the world and what we do. And, you know, we maybe show up for our job and our boss tells us what time we have to be there. We pay our bills because we don't want our lights to get shut off. You know, we pay our bills because we want our air conditioner to work and our heat to work and all those things. I mean, we think about all the things that we do and we do on time because they have a consequence. I mean, think about everything that you do in your life that you do because there's a consequence if you don't do it, right? Well, think about it a different way. This is Isogenics. This is a business where it's a volunteer army. You can show up or not show up, but this is your life. This is your future. This is where you have the ability to really write it out, like to paint the masterpiece of a life that you really want for yourself. But this is also where the place where people write down their goals and they go to an event and they're like, that's it, I'm going straight to the top. And then they come home and life starts happening, you know, everyone around them, it gets kind of crazy. And then they look down at that piece of paper where they said, I'm going straight to the top. And then they just kind of go, and don't do it. And I just think, you guys, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't give up on you. Don't give up on yourself. Be around people that bring you elevate you higher. And, you know, Lisa DeMeo has always really been that person for me. I mean, I have so many in my life and in my business, but really early on, I mean, if you know her, you know what she's like. I'm in Nebraska, you know, she's like the girl from Queens, and she would just get in my face. What are you talking about, Lynn? Come on, get back in there. You know, you're not where you want to be yet. Let's go. Those are the people that you want in your life. And if you don't have them in your life, trust me, all you have to do is make sure you get your butt in an event. You get yourself in an event, you'll find them in the restroom. Like, they'll be in the line and you're going to meet each other and they're going to be your running partners. Find those running partners in your team, cross line, up line, around in Isogenics. They're all around, because none of us want you to give up on you. So that was a long 3 things, but
it's so good. No, it's so good. I don't know if you can see any of this chat, and I just want to like piggyback on that, you know, because you make this relatable for those of you that know people on this call. But like Lori, I mean, we always say consistency is her word, you know. I mean, she just promoted again 2 weeks ago. She has rank advanced at least every quarter. I mean, as long as I have known her, and making sure she's rank advancing her team. But when she gets in people's face and holds that mirror up to their life, it's not only because she wants the best for them, but she's done it. I mean, I'm the one that knows that she enrolled somebody in the ER on Thanksgiving Day, you know, and her husband had laid off. She'd been moving, she's unpacking, she's doing 3-way calls, because this is her life and she knows that. And Jessica has always been a true accountability partner to me, like to the point that we didn't like each other in the very beginning. I mean, many of you know that Janie like ran us against each other, and she thought I was terse and I thought she was rude. And we've like so held each other accountable and changing each other's lives. But there were times I did exactly that. And I was like, yeah, it's not going to happen. You know, I don't have people to talk to. She's like, what do you mean? Get in an Uber, go hang out in the vitamin store, do what you do. You can enroll someone with shapes. And we were new. We didn't really know what we were doing. But even now, I mean, I declared a pretty big financial goal with the fertility stuff with my husband and I, beginning of the year. And Jamie Lynn, who's on this call, and they check in on that genuinely. And it's not about enrolling people. It's about holding me accountable to something I really want. And they will never let me play small. And it's not always comfortable, right? There's times I'm like, all right, Jess says I can do it, you know, and be those people for others. Because even though it sucks, your greatest coaches are the ones that pushed you. Your greatest mentors are the ones that got you to a level of success that you probably would not have ever achieved, or not in the time frame that it happened. So that's all amazing. I want to just leave it with, if you have any closing words, anything that's on your heart. You touched a little bit about events, you know, which I was going to ask you, just anything to leave these 80 beautiful souls with tonight. And if I forget to say it afterwards, thank you. I continue to learn. You have such a beautiful, glowing, genuine energy, so much wisdom, but you just are relatable. I think when people listen to you, you just show that anybody can do this. And as eloquent and poised as you are invested in this. You've grown even since I first met you, you know, it's 20 years plus in the profession. And just thank you for being such a heart of service for this entire company and profession, because we all would not be here without the wisdom and grace you've shared.
Well, it's my pleasure. And we all learn from each other. We can't be everything. So, but together we're everything together, right? All have different strengths. But here's what I would say. I have the opportunity to I've been on a lot of field advisory boards, but I'm also on some committees of some things that are coming. And, you know, I've been in Isagenix now, like I said, for a decade, and I have never seen anything like I'm seeing right now. This is really exciting. And network marketing runs in waves. It's always waves, always. I mean, it will never always be straight up. Just know that. By the way, if you're brand new, just know it never is. It's always waves. It's up, and then it kind of goes like this, and then it's up, but it's always like a nice up, a steady up over time. And it's always really fun when the waves happen, and the wave is just starting. Like, you can feel it. You can feel like that energy of the wave that's starting, but we've really got this perfect storm coming, and we've got some leaders in the that are executives at Isagenix that really get it right now. I've been on a few calls lately. Well, one in particular, and many of you probably know Emily Vavra. She literally started crying when she saw it, you guys, like crying, like excited, like blow me over, crying, because it's so amazing. I was on a call today just with the strategy, the product strategy. It's not just throwing products out at the field. Like, there's a real strategy around it and what's going to be happening that we're going to see over the next few months and throughout the rest of 2022. So although the world has darkness, we're the light. And we have to go out there and be bold and brave and courageous and sit down with people and say, pull up a chair. You want to be a part of this. And you want to be a part of this right now, because I've shared with you the certainty that I've seen it. I know what's coming. I know the wave of momentum that's coming. And I've never seen it like this. I've never seen everything coming together like this. Our compensation plan is so rich. It's so smart. It's the tracks to run on, but you have to have the foundation of the products. I mean, the company could have sat on its laurels and just stayed who we were, but we're not. We're innovating. It's so good, you guys. It's so good. All these different products that are coming, but the simplicity of it. Imagine, because what's coming for a brand new person is they can literally pick a category, go click, 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 business in a box, ready to go. I mean, like that. I mean, it's just going to keep getting better and better. But look at what we've accomplished without that. All of the success that's on this call. We hit, now are you guys ready for this? I don't know if I often talk about this, but I'll let you know. This year, well, actually last month, we hit $23 million earned with Isagenix. I started in 2011. You guys, I'm just telling you, it's because I've had certainty. I know we have tracks to run on, and I invite people in. And all I'm doing is you share, they share, ACMDE, which then feeds the back office tree. but it's not just me. It can't just be about you. It can't be about how many you've enrolled. If you need to turn around and teach the next person how to enroll so that they can go ACMDE and they can teach their person how to go ACMDE. And then you have hundreds of people flowing into your back office tree that are changing lives. My husband and I started our own foundation. Like, we literally live for our foundation and giving that money. I just cannot even tell you the joy that can come from giving, but you have to give and be bold and brave first to show people what's possible here. So I know what's coming, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. So where am I going with this? You call somebody tonight. I mean, if you think about it like a baseball analogy, when do you want to hit a home run? When there's no one on the bases, or when you've got the bases loaded? It's time to get the bases loaded, people. Get those bases loaded, because you're about ready to hit that grand slam. And you want the bases loaded in these next several months so that your whole team can fly together. But you guys, you can be certain. Just build on my belief and others' beliefs and the belief of the people on this call and on future calls and future Monday calls, that you're in the right place and most certainly at the right time.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. And I'm so glad this is what we did earlier. And she's like, what should we talk about? And I was like, I mean, the comp plan's always great, but I kind of just want to interview you, and you never know what's going to happen with that. And it's real, it's raw, it's fresh, it's innovative. I'm so grateful. So Jess, I don't know if you want to say hi or say thank you. Otherwise we'll get this recording out to all of you, but thank you so much. Tell Michael hi, and just appreciate all that you do. We're so grateful.
Yeah. I'll just echo what you said, Lauren, that it was amazing as always, Lynn. You restore people's faith. You excite us, and I'll build on your belief too. I told you, I texted you earlier and just said, I need to hear it as much as the new person, just because you can't hear it enough. You taught me the comp plan when I first started. I watched you. It was awkward because I watched you in bed a lot of times. I'm just going to tell you the truth, over and over again. But you taught me the comp plan, you and Kathy Savage. I just watched it until I could recite it. And even to this day, I bet Lauren and I together could probably recreate that video verbatim, because both watched it so often. But I also wanted to say what you said earlier, Lauren. Lynn, you've never looked better. Success so agrees with you, and these products have amplified you to a whole new level. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Go out there and crush it.
Put a 1 in the chat if you're going to message someone before you go to bed. Load your bases. Good night. Bye, guys.
Bye.